Hello, I'm Toycat, and this is Editor Mode, the answer to the question of what if you could undo your worst building mistakes in Minecraft, as well as copy and paste across the world seamlessly, and even fly around the world faster than has ever been possible in Creative. Take all of these tools and everything else combined, and you get one of the most powerful building tools Minecraft has ever released. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's the most powerful. However, the questions as to how exactly you use it are big and plentiful, and also the questions as to where it's available. Can you get this on Java, etc., are all of the things you might be wondering. Also, what the heck is the deal with these giant yellow and purple boxes? Allow me to explain all of that in today's video, a decent tutorial as to what's going on in Editor Mode right now, as well as what you can expect from the future of it, because that is in fact going to change. Speaking of change, it does have to be mentioned that it has changed since the supposed leaks of Editor Mode, because the actual way that Minecraft refers to this anywhere in their own documentation is as the Bedrock editor, and you might notice they're distinctly calling it the Bedrock editor and not the Minecraft editor. That is because it is not a universal Minecraft tool. It's not available on most Minecraft Bedrock platforms, and if you were curious if it was ever coming to those or the Java, then Potato Man of MC was as well, and he got a direct answer from the Minecraft creator product manager, in other words the person for whom this is their oversight, and they directly responded saying no plans for Java since that game has already got so many amazing community tools. And currently for Bedrock, our focus is on Windows with keyboard/mouse for high fidelity input. In other words, saying this is a tool that is planned specifically around Minecraft Bedrock on the PC using keyboard and mouse. And in the same way, you wouldn't expect the marketplace to come to Java because there is a better way to do that. You can just download maps and mods for free, etc. You wouldn't expect the editor tool to come there because there's already a third-party equivalent. It's an interesting argument to make, but for now, let's talk about how Minecraft is being made into effectively a game development tool so people can make better quality maps. That's ultimately the reasoning they're doing this for, and ultimately that's why you can do some very, very powerful things with this, because it's intended for people to make big, impressive builds, not necessarily to play around directly, but for other people to play around in. And if that doesn't make any sense, allow me to show you the free tools we have right now. There will be more in the future, but let's explain those free basic tools as well as how they interact with the game, because it looks very confusing and intimidating like this. But if instead you just say, okay, there is a crosshair mode where it's just Minecraft, but you're in creative mode, everything seems like it makes a lot more sense. Sure, you can make some very wacky things, and I've totally done that everywhere around here, apparently including lightning coming from the sky, but as much as you can do wacky stuff here, there also is effectively just a creative mode where you can build block by block still if you still really want to. This is probably how most people are going to do a lot of stuff in Minecraft, especially the finer detail. There's not going to be a way to use Editor to do that, at least just yet. However, for the big bulky movements, you want to press Escape or Control Tab or whatever it is to get this menu up. It's the default menu, and it allows you to do three basic things. There is selection, there is copy paste, and there is the brush tool over here. So the brush tool is the simplest one to explain. I'm going to be, if we have a brush size of 3 and we place a block there, then we place a 3x3 square centered around that area that looks like so. If we make the brush size much bigger, we can make it, like a 13 size. Then now when we place it there, we're making a 13x13 cube placed exactly there. If you really want to, something you can do, let's say I've got this big hole here and I want to fill it with something interesting, then I can use the brush tool to place a bunch of these together and make something like that. Do you see how now I've made a much more interesting structure than just a square so quickly? Wow, that is kind of interesting, isn't it? You can place any block in Minecraft. That includes the weird blocks like the Nether reactor if you really want to. And then if you want to, you can then use the blocks you've just placed to have, say, a hollow set of glass go on top of that. So we pick the middle block here, and now there's a big glass cube around my Nether reactors. Isn't this an interesting place to hang out? Yes, it is. Wouldn't it be more interesting if I could copy and paste? Yes, it would be. So we're now going to use the selection tool. This is to pick an area in the world. The way this works is you pick a block like you would in Minecraft, but you can pick way further away if you want to. I can pick all the way over there, but instead we pick a corner block of one of our builds. Then you pick one of these corners, and it gives you these 3 arrows. These 3 arrows you might be familiar with if you've ever played around with Unity, but basically you can move your selection upwards. So I'm going to move this one to cover my entire build that way, and then we're going to move the red arrow to cover my entire build that way. And then once we've done both of those, we also want to cover the entire build on the third axis, right? I mean, it's a big little chunky house, right? So then we move the entire thing like that. And now what we can do is we can just fill this with something else if we wanted to, or we can Control C, literally, we can copy, and then later we can paste this anywhere we want. So we could paste this over here on the ground. I've got a bunch of ugly glass over here. Let's replace them with a bunch of ugly houses, right? There we go. Nice ugly house goes right there. Nice ugly house goes right there. And you see how you can now, like, by doing this, you can do some very interesting things, kind of like a structure block would, but with way less hassle and effort. But also, we could combine this with our previous thing and put it in our little house that we've made right here. So let's place it right there. Over, this isn't going to work at all, is it? Let's place it over there. That is exactly what I intended to do, yes. And now you can see I've copy and pasted this beautiful little house that is definitely contained within the glass. Don't question it, it definitely is contained. I don't see any issues with that. And yeah, it's very, very nice, right? So yeah, you can copy and paste basically anything you want. It doesn't have to be your ugly Minecraft house. It can be something beautiful. So if we go over to, if you look over here, we could go very quickly over to our cherry blossom grove biome, and we could say, I want there to be more of this in the world. So what we can do is we can select any block in the biome, like this one right here, and then we can say we want this to be much wider. Let's say 100 by 20, let's say, maybe by, I don't know, 100 as well. Like a really nice sized box. We're probably gonna have to move that box around. There's a little cube in the middle that allows you to do precisely that. So we move it over there, and then we move it. It's a very tiny arrow we're grabbing right now, but then we'll try and move it along the x-axis too, like, I don't know, 1500 sounds about right. Nope, 1600 sounds about right. I lied. And there we go. We've now got a box that covers most of the biome. We now can just do some micro adjustments and say it should be a little bit taller, like 37 blocks or something. We can do that just like so as well. And then we can move it just a little bit this way and capture as much of this cherry blossom as we like. Now we can move tool to the paste tool over here, which is quite simple. You just Control and V. And yeah, if you now we can pick a suitable place in our world that we think would benefit from a cherry grove biome. So right there, that seems like a good place to me. Control V, or you can press confirm paste up here. And there we go. I was like, is that working? It's a huge number of blocks, more than you can currently do in Minecraft by default. But look at that. I've just made a cherry blossom biome right over here where you probably wouldn't expect one. You can be really silly with this if you want to. Like, okay, what if I want it all the way up there? I don't know why it's like picking in front of me. That feels a bit of an odd one. But what if I want to have it all the way up here in the sky? Then you know what? You have that ability. You can mirror it on the X and on the Z if you really want to as well. Actually, that's just mirror X. And now paste it, and now it's the exact same biome. Again, we gotta wait for it because we're editing so many blocks right now. It's the exact same biome, but it's flipped in reverse. By using a clever selection of pieces and copy pasting and stuff like that, you could make your work go a lot further in Minecraft. And also, I don't know why these lightnings are here. You gotta trust me that this isn't an intentional thing, but it is a very funny thing. So that's how the free basic tools work. You can select things, and you can select them just to fill them in, like right over there if we want to. We can even use adjacent. We can make giant size cubes if we want to. Right over in here in midair or down here, we could just place some stone if we want to. We could place some stone cutters if we really want to. We could make that size absolutely hilarious if we want to. Like 100 by 100 by 100 is 1,000,000 blocks, just to be clear. If I want to do that, and you know, I don't think it's a good idea, I can fill 1,000,000 blocks of stone cutters. Oh, this is the old stone cutter too. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So yeah, you can see, unlike prior Minecraft, which is like, ooh, we're going to make you do that command by command, it's now going to fill that in like that. Very useful. So this is basically the fill tool mixed with selecting across the world. We've got the paste tool where we could copy and paste that and then move it elsewhere while mirroring if we really want to. And then we've got the paintbrush tool where you can do all the things I've just mentioned earlier. These are the three major tools that this thing has, but it also has things like, and honestly, all three of those things can be done in regular Minecraft right now with varying amounts of effort. Like those are all about time savers. The thing that is amazing though is if I place those 1,000,000 stone cutters, which I'm midway through doing right now, has to be said, if I place those 1,000,000 stone cutters and then regret it, you know what I can do? The undo button. This is Control Z. Most people know that if you've ever done anything with a PC before, but Control Z and, you know, we'll press undo there. And what's going to happen? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's able to undo that as, oh, it's gonna, whoa, okay, so that was fast. But then if I say, wait, no, undoing was the mistake, I liked it better, we can then redo it, and God if I knows how long that's gonna take. Is it gonna like go manually block by block again, or? Oh, so that is interesting. It can just undo and redo much faster than it can place new blocks. That is 1,000,000 stone cutters, just to be clear, like, you know. Actually, is it hollow? No, it's a million stonecutters I just placed, 100 by 100 by 100, and you can go even bigger than this if you want to. And that is the absolutely wild thing about editor mode, is that if you really wanted to, you could do even crazier stuff than this. And so yeah, this is the power, the capability. Oh look, I did place some glass in there. See, now if I want to, okay, so now imagine something crazy. I've got my million stonecutter blocks. You could use the brush size for air, and then you could make holes in that to make like a glide map or something. This is something 4J Studios have been somewhat public. That's how they make glide maps so easily, or so interestingly, is so quickly they can just like, okay, we don't want these to be hollow at all, we want them to be non-hollow. So quickly we can run through here, and we can make kind of an interesting shape for a cave that we could later, you know, like brush up, do the fine details on. But you see how like just by running through here, probably should use a smaller brush, honestly. By running through here and doing some stuff like this, we can make a very interesting shape in a cave. Obviously, the bigger the brush, the less precise we'll get. But let's just kind of smooth that out. And now wow, it looks somewhat natural, right? At the very least, it looks like explosions have gone through here. And if you want to make a very natural looking tunnel to fly through, this is one way to do it. Also, look, there's the middle block for the big selection area. I think this is crazy. I think the fact that I could place this many stonecutter blocks is crazy, but this isn't the limit of what you can do with this, because let's say that Cherry Grove biome from earlier, I think that's still in my paste. Let's confirm, I guess, by... Yeah, that's still... Okay, so let's say that Cherry Blossom biome from earlier, let's say I want that in my end. What you can actually do is you can just move over there using the World Option tab, and you could make your end, if you really wanted to, into a giant Cherry Blossom biome. Apparently when you switch dimension, it carries your coordinates with you, so look over there, that's where it thinks I want to paste things. And so if we just quickly get to the ground, which we can do using, it's called Shift and G, it's the grapple function. It will allow you to immediately basically teleport to the block you're looking at. So over there, I can teleport. If I want to go to that end city all the way in the distance, apparently you have to pick lower targets than that. But if you want to go really, really far, anything you can touch with the editor, you can grapple towards. So I'm going to do that right now. And you see how, honestly, I was going to say how much faster I got there. It was about the same time than if I flew. But isn't that incredible? Isn't it also incredible that I could take this thing and say, nah, I don't like it. What would make me happy is if there was a cherry forest here instead. You can totally make that decision. No one can tell you what you can and cannot do. Then you can copy along the x-axis. Then you can do it on the x and the z-axis. And then you could then take away the x. And then, wow, look at that. I built myself a giant cherry blossom grove biome. And honestly, it looks pretty convincing. I mean, if you look around the edges, there'll be so many rough shapes. If you look at the half-destroyed end city, it's a bit rough. But isn't it impressive that you can do that so quickly? Isn't it impressive that fast I now have a world that looks like this? The answer is, in my opinion, yes. So here's the other amazing thing you can do. Let's say there are a bunch of animals around here. You know, the Cherry Grove biome spawns chickens and pigs and bees. But also in my fantasy, the zombie horse. Ooh, spooky, spooky. And also there's a bunch of fires around the zombie horse. Let's say you wanted to freeze the game. You can do this using something called pause actors. This is a weird thing for Minecraft. But if you pause actors, well, it doesn't include fire, apparently. If you pause actors, that zombie horse now has no AI. Does the zombie horse ever have AI? Let's unpause the actors. As you can see, the zombie horse can move and can be affected by stuff, is now eating. But if I want to, I can just, let's wait till he's doing something interesting halfway through. Also, there is a bee there. So we pause him there, and now he's midway through that walk animation, and you can leave him like that if you really want to. This could be great for taking screenshots. I mean, just imagine this, right? Like I go into F1 mode. I've now got the ability to take an incredible screenshot of a zombie horse in a burning cherry forest. You know, if you want a confusing thumbnail for a video, that might be a good idea. But like, yeah, the fact that I have this ability is kind of crazy. Let's, oh, I hit the horse. I didn't mean to. If we go back to editor mode, which you can do with no UI apparently, and then we, yeah, actually, let's select that block there. Maybe the block behind him, the floor. I'm not sure. You know, let's just select that. Okay, I'm making my thumbnail in this video right now. Look at that! Do you like my thumbnail, internet? I like my thumbnail a lot. I think I did a good job. So yeah, this is editor mode. This is the basics of all the things that are built into it. But here's the thing. Ooh, the bees. See, it feels like freezing time. It really does. If we go to the Shulker City as well, everything in here is going to be perfectly frozen. You can hit it, but nothing is going to happen. It is perfectly frozen mid-animation, so you can freeze the entire world if you want to, which is pretty fun. I mean, apparently besides fire. Fire will keep on spreading, whether you want it to or not. Also bees. That's fun. He's going to be upset with me when he spawns. But yeah, the beauty of this is the ability to make really big things really quickly. And in theory, if you're good, to be able to make them with a decent degree of fidelity as well. That's going to be the big test about this, though, is like how well do people actually round off the edges for this? Because hypothetically, you could make 10 different houses, copy-paste them across your world in varying orders based on what you want. Or hypothetically, you could get lazy and just copy-paste the same one 10 times, so much faster than you can right now. There will be some lazy stuff that comes out of it, but like any powerful tool, some people will use the powerful tool to be lazy, and some people will use the powerful tool to multiply the abilities they already have. Ultimately, it's one of those things where even freeing up capacity and allowing people to be lazy allows them to put their talents to other uses, and I think ultimately it can be a very good thing if you're looking for high quality maps in the world or high quality builds to be made. There is a very interesting point about, well, is Minecraft meant to be an editor? I mean, some people, you know, Jeb himself included, say no, but there is, you know, it's an interesting debate you could have endlessly. For now, this is every feature in editor mode that we have so far. It's quite a bare bones, stripped back program, and yet it already does so much, but they're going to be adding more. You can see how there's space on the left here. There's just 3 options so far. They're clearly going to have a whole toolbar of options by the time this is out of preview and into some usable form, and hopefully by the time that happens, it's accessible by more than just opening a shortcut on your desktop, because that's still how you have to do it right now. It's not within Minecraft itself. You have to open up the game from outside of it. I think if this is only for PC users on Bedrock only, you can have a secret button somewhere in the menus that people can find, and then they can do the incredible stuff that hopefully will encourage the next generation of map makers, and hopefully that's a good thing. But this has been your tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed it. If it encourages you or inspires you, then please do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 2 million subscribers. I've heard when you hit 2 million subscribers on YouTube, when people ask you how are you doing, and you say, great, how about yourself? And they say, I'm having a terrible day actually, and then stare at you in the eyes like you've just hurt them. I've heard that doesn't happen if you have that many subscribers. So if you want to save me, save me from that action happening in the future, then that's a great way to do it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.